Check.
Hey, what's going on everyone? So it's Keith here at Coding Blind Tech, and in this video we are going to show you how to create a GitHub account because you're going to need a GitHub account, especially if you want to continue following along with me and receiving the um, code examples that I do in the videos, and then having some type of guide to be able to follow along. Also having it on your own machine is very nice. You also need to learn how to use GitHub because it is important to learn how to use Git version control system. So it's something that if you choose a career in software development, um, it is something you're going to use all the time, or even if you freelance or even personal, it's something great to have because it gives you a place to keep control over each version of the files and things like that inside of your repo. Also, it allows for you to have it in a remote location and you can get it from anywhere. All right, so getting started, you're going to need to make sure that you have Git for Windows installed. So I'm going to be doing all this from Ubuntu WSL, but I am on a Windows machine and I would advise you to download Git for Windows. I'll put that video. I have a video showing how to do that. So I'll put that video in the description. And then you can use Git Bash or command prompt. Again, I'm going to be using Ubuntu for WSL 24.04. So I'll be on a bash on. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to need to create a GitHub profile. So you're going to want to go to your browser. I'm going to go to Google Chrome.
Start window. Search window. Google Chrome. New tab dash Google.
All right, and I'm using NVDA screen reader. We're going to go to GitHub, so
Select
GitHub.com.
GitHub.com. Announcement alert GitHub.
All right, we get a little bit of an announcement. We're going to go to the top of our page with Control Home.
Link skip to content.
And we're going to look for sign up.
Find dialog. Banner landmark link sign in.
So the way I did that was Control, I'm sorry, F. That's because I'm on a keyboard layout, but if you're on a big desktop layout, it's Insert, Control F to find, and I just typed sign. So it took me to sign in. We want to go down one, so I'm a down arrow.
Link sign up.
And sign up, you're going to want to click sign up.
Join GitHub middle.github. Link skip to banner main landmark.
All right, so I'm already signed up.
Enter your email.
But this is a pretty simple process. You're going to have to enter your email. You're probably going to have to verify your email, stuff like that. But once you get logged in, it is going to look like this. So let me go over to Brave because I normally use Brave.
OBS 3. Channel content dash U.
All right, and we're going to go
Toolbar.
to GitHub.com again.
OM. GitHub.om selected.
We should probably type
Toolbar.
that correctly. GitHub.com.
GitHub.com selected. GitHub. Link skip to content.
All right, so I'm already signed in. And this is going to be
banner landmark navigation menu heading level 2.
So we hit H for headings. It's going to take to the menu.
Account complementary landmark repositories navigation landmark top repositories.
And then the next heading is just a list of our top repositories. So there's a list of like the most recent ones that you visited or the most recent ones that you've created. So go ahead and create that account, and once you've done that, come back to the video and we will get you set up with an SSH key, and then we will actually create our first repository, and I will show you how to clone that. So, alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create an SSH key. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to either want to get in command prompt or git bash. Again, I'm going to be in Ubuntu WSL, so I'm going to open that up.
Start window.
Start
search window. Ubuntu 2.2. Find results in apps heading level 1. Level 2 apps group, Ubuntu 24.0.
24.04, that's what we want.
Ubuntu 24.0.
Okay.
Blank.
Let that load.
GitHub.
There's
coding
the
blind.
sound we're looking
Caret
for.
left bracket getting blind. Coding blind tech cable.
To clear. And here's what we want to do. So I assume that if you're watching this, you have Visual Studio Code installed. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to uh, open up, we're going to create this SSH key and we're going to copy a public key and we're going to store it in GitHub. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to first type SSH
SSH.
dash key gen, that's GEN. All right, so we got SSH dash KEYGEN. I'm gonna press enter.
Generating public / private ed 25,519 key pair dot. Enter file in which to save.
All right, so it's going to generate this public private key pair for us to store the private key on our host machine. And then we're going to have a public key in GitHub, and that public key and that private key talk to each other. All right, and that's how we're going to be able to git clone repos and be able to push and pull from repos. So what we want to do is it gives us a default destination. So I'm just going to review this output right here.
Generating public / private ed 25,509. Enter file in which to save a key left paren, /home /codingblindtext /.sh /id line ed 25,519 right paren, colon.
All right, so again, it gives us a default location. It tells you what the location is inside of the parentheses. However, we can give it whatever location we want, but we're going to take the default and press enter.
Create a directory tick /home /codingblindtext /
All right, it's going to tell us that it created it. Now it's going to ask us for a passphrase. You can type a password here, but I'm going to leave it empty for no passphrase.
Enter same passphrase again.
So it says enter same passphrase. I'm just going to press enter again.
Your identification has been saved. Coding blind
All right,
tech.
so our identification has been saved. So if you did this in command prompt or git bash, the way that you're going to want to find the public key that you generated is you're going to want to go to your file explorer. So we're going to do Windows E. All right, we're going to shift tab to get to our file tree.
Tree view.
All right, so in here you're going to want to find your C drive.
Level 2 Ubuntu network level Windows left paren. C.
There's my C drive and press enter on this. I'm going to press tab.
Items view list.
All right, we have an items view list. We're looking for users. So
User 7 of 9.
All right, there it is. I pressed U and then it took me to it. I'm press enter.
Items view list.
Now pick your user.
Public 2 of 2. K black 1 of 2.
Mine is K black.
Items view list.
Now in here you can type .ssh, but you're looking for .ssh. So it's just a period and then SSH. So period SSH.
.ssh5.
And there it is. We're going to enter on this.
Items view list. ID line ed.
All right, so this is where you're going to find your the public and private key that was printed out. So I have a few of them, but if it's your first time, you're just going to have one, or you're going to have a public key and a private key. They're going to have the same name. The only difference is one will have the .pub extension. So that's how you're going to find it if you did it on command prompt or git bash. Again, I did it in Ubuntu, so I'm going to get to it a little bit differently.
Coding blind tech at cable GitHub dash.
All right, so I'm going to go over here to my command line.
Coding blind.
And I'm actually going to cd space
CD.
tilde, which is shift grav, which is next to your 1 above tab. So shift grav, which is tilde. And I'm going to do a / .ssh. Press enter.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwell.
And then what I'm going to do is actually type code space and then dot, and that will open code with this current directory.
Updating VS Code server to version.
All right, it's going to take a minute. Update VS
100.
Code.
Unpacking colon. 100.
Should only take a
Coding
second.
blind tech at K Black.
All right, good.
Compatibility check successful left paren. Coding blind tech at K. Tab switcher grouping.
Let's.
.s GitHub dash ob GitHub .ss.
There it is. Okay.
Names ID line ed 25. .ss.
Let me.
Coding GitHub ob create GitHub welcome dash .ssh.
There it is.
Welcome. Yes, comma. I trust. Welcome dash .s.
Yes, we trust these files. All right, so in here I can do a Shift Control E.
Application.
Opens up my file list. I'm looking.
Level 1 ID line ed 20. ID line.
All right, so it's the only one that I have in here because it's my first time creating one in here. So
ID line ed 25,519 not selected 1 of 2 level 1.
So that's the private one because it doesn't have that .pub extension.
ID line at 25,519.pub not selected 2 of 2 level 1.
Here's the one we're looking for. You want to open this .pub file.
Main landmark.
So once you have it open, you want to Control A
SSH dash.
to select all, and you want to Control C to copy that to the clipboard. All right. Now we are going to, all right, so now we want to create a new SSH key in GitHub. So we're going to move over to GitHub.
.ssh row 1. Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder : GitHub dash Brave road. GitHub. Link skip to content.
All right, so now we are in GitHub and we are at the top of our page. All right, so if you have set up your GitHub account and you have your profile ready and you are logged in, so you want to make sure you're signed into GitHub, and you want to go to the top of the page and you want to press B for buttons, and you're looking for user profile.
Banner landmark. Type / to search. Command palette. Create something new. Open user account menu button.
Yep, open user account menu, sorry. All right, we're going to press enter on this.
Banner landmark.
And we're going to press tab until we get to settings.
Okay. User. Your switch. Your code. Your enter. Your start. Your spot. Your gist. Upgrade. Try it. Feature. Settings. GitHub. Settings visited list.
All right, there it is.
Button. Your profile.
All right, so now in settings, we can go to the top of our page.
Link skip to content.
And we can find, so we're going to do a control and then NVDA modifier key F.
Find dialog.
All right, and we're looking for SSH.
Main landmark user.
All right, it's going to focus us on
link organ. Visited link SSH and GPG key.
SSH and GPG keys. We're going to press enter.
SSH and GPG.
All right, so now we're going to
code comma.
Find the SSH key heading.
Security heading level. Integrations. Archives heading. Clickable Authenticate. SSH keys heading level 2.
All right, now we're going to down arrow from here to find add new.
Visited link new SSH key.
Or new SSH key. Press enter.
Busy. Add new SSH key.
All right, so now we're going to use E to find an edit field.
List with 2 items title edit.
For our title, and I'm going to press spacebar to get into this.
Main.
And my title is going to be Ubuntu-24.04.
List.
All right, I'm going to press tab. We're going to leave the key type the same. Press tab again.
List. Key edit multi-line begin.
All right, and here I'm going to paste in our key. So I'm going to Control V as in Victor. And I'm going to tab.
Add SSH key button.
All right, add SSH key. I'm going to press enter.
Confirm access document. Main landmark.
So we're going to have to confirm access. It's going to want me to type my password.
Confirm access document. Incorrect password.
Incorrect password.
Alert, you have.
There we go.
Banner land button. Dismiss this message.
So you
have successfully added the key tick Ubuntu-24.04 tick.
There we go. We get our success message, and you should get the same.
Button dismiss this message.
So I'm going to dismiss this message.
Banner landmark.
All right, so now that you have your key added, the way that we're going to prove that it works is we are going to create our first repository. So if we go to the top of our page,
link skip to content,
and we navigate by buttons.
Banner landmark open, clickable type / command palette button, create something new menu button.
We come to create something new. We want to press enter on this.
Link issues, menu button expanded submenu, SSH and GPG keys clickable button command.
Here,
link skip to command palette button, create something new menu, new repository.
There we go. You want to hear that. All right, so we want to create new
Banner landmark, new repository.
On that. All right, now if we go to the top of our page,
link skip to
press E for edit.
Main landmark clickable repository owner and name grouping repository.
We come to our repository name.
Main landmark.
So we don't want to have any spaces in our repository name. And for us, I'm going to create a Django, API here soon, just for public view for an example. So it's going to be, I'm going to type Django underscore.
Django line is available.
Example.
Django. Example.
REST underscore API.
Django line example line REST line.
Be a RESTful API. I'm gonna hit escape. All right, I'm a down arrow.
Django line example line REST line API is available.
All right, it's available. Good.
Out of grouping, great repository names are short and memorable. Button repository name legendary dash mem description left paren optional right paren
For description, it's
clickable description
optional,
edit
but I
description.
am going to give a description, so I'm just going to say this
This is
is
a
a REST
rest API
API built
built
using
using
Django
Django
and
and
Django
rest
REST.
frame
All right, hit escape, down arrow.
grouping visibility
Visibility is public. You can set this to private.
radio button anyone on the internet radio button you choose who can see and commit. Out of grouping, initialize this repository with colon
So initialize this
checkbox
repository,
not
that just means that, we have to have a file in the repository for it to initialize with Git. So we can have a README, and that's what I'm going to do, and then it'll already be there for us.
initialize this checkbox not checked. Add a read
I'm going to hit the checkbox on this
check.
spacebar.
This is where you can add .gitignore menu button submenu .gitignore template colon
So we can add a .git ignore. This is good to have, but actually I will, yeah, so we're actually going to hit spacebar on this,
.gitignore
and we're going to type Python,
one
and
matching
press
item
down arrow. It finds Python,
thought
press enter.
choose which files not
So that's just going to have like your typical python.gitignore. A .gitignore is just stuff that you don't want to store in a Git repo, such as environment variables like secrets. Um, you don't want that stuff stored in your environment or in your Git repo. You don't want log files, stuff like that. Um, so
choose a license
so we can choose a license. Normally I would choose like MIT, especially being public. It just means that it's free to redistribute.
menu button submenu license colon no.
So we're going to
License
just
dialog
press spacebar on this and down
new
arrow.
general MIT license not select
MIT, press.
menu button sub a license tells others this will set main as you are creating a public repository button create repository
So now we're good to go. We can create repository. Here's our button.
creating repository unavailable coding dash blind dash
All right, nice. It'll take you to the home page of your repository.
link skip to content
So we're going to go to the top of our page and we're going to press H for heading.
banner landmark navigation menu heading level 2
H again.
main landmark clickable coding dash blind dash text slash Django line example line rest line API
Nice. So you hear my username, coded blind tech, and then it tells you the Django example REST API. So from here, we're looking, we want to clone this now. So we need a URL to clone. So we're going to type, we're looking for code. So I'm just going to down arrow.
clickable menu button sub menu main branch link 1 branch link 0 tag clickable go to file no intentity heading level 2 add file menu button sub menu add file menu button sub menu code
Right here, we're going to press enter.
code navigation
Now you hear it pop in there, but press down arrow.
code spaces tab C2 of 2
Down arrow again.
which remote URL should I use question
So it says which remote URL should I use. So you can do HTTPS or you can do an SSH. So we actually stored, usually you would use HTTPS if you were just cloning it to your local machine and you were just reviewing it, not to be, you wouldn't be pushing back up to it or anything like that. But in this case, we're going to use SSH, which is already set to that.
heading level 2 remote URL link current page SSS link G GitHub CL
So you want to
link
make
current page
sure that that's selected. And we can actually press B for button.
copy URL to clip
And we can copy this URL. I'm going to up arrow so you can look at mine.
git at github.com colon coding dash blind dash text slash Django line
And you want to make sure yours kind of looks like that too with the git at
button copy
github.com
URL git at github.com colon coding dash
and then your username. So, all right, we're going to copy this.
copy URL to clipboard copy
So I'm going to press B for button.
copy URL to clipboard
Press enter to copy it. Now to check our clipboard, we can do NVDA modifier key C as in Charlie.
git at github.com colon coding dash blind dash text slash Django line example line rest line API
All right, we hear that it's copied to our clipboard. Now this is where the proof of our SSH key is going to be, if it works or not. So I'm going to go back over to my command line.
ID line at 25.ssh column coding blind tech coding
All right, over here I'm going to go into code. So I'm just going to cd space // code.
coding blind tech at K Blackwell
So in here,
Python line files
there's our Python files.
coding dash blind
So
search
I'm
code
actually,
coding blind tech at K Blackwelder
sorry, my throat is dry right now for some reason, so I have to get some water in it. All right, so what you want to do is we're going to clone it into our code repo right here. So you want to type git
git
space clone
clone.
space, and then we're going to paste this in. So if you're on Git Bash, you want to hit your applications key and go to paste. If you're on command prompt, you can just control V. I'm in bash line, so I'm just going to do caps lock key and then backspace to focus.
Move to focus.
And then I'm
Default
just
terminal
going to
coding blind
hit
tech at K
caps
black
lock
welder colon
key
tilde slash
and
code coding blind tech at K black welder
right
colon tilde slash
bracket
code dollar git
to
clone.
right click.
Right coding dash menu selected submenu.
And that's just
Emoji win
going
plus
to
inspect emoji win plus
paste it
coding
in for me.
suggestions list. Button type slash
Get out
coding
of the
blind
way.
tech coding blind bottom. Coding blind tech at K black welder colon tilde slash code dollar git clone. Code space.
All right, let's paste it in there.
Coding blind tech at K black welder colon tilde slash code dollar git clone v. V
Why is it
space
doing that?
git at github.com colon
There
coding
we go. All right, so now we're going to press enter.
cloning into tick Django line example line rest line API tick dot. The authenticity of host tick github.com left.
You're going to hear that the authenticity of the host is going to tell you the host name, stuff like that, that it can't be validated, it's not recognized. So we know that this is our public private key. So you want to type yes, so YES, and press enter.
Warning colon permanently added tick github.com tick left.
So permanently added it to our SSH for our history. Now we're going to just make sure that this properly did everything we wanted to by just reviewing the output. So I'm going to hold down my NVDA modifier key and press up arrow.
Receiving objects colon 100% left paren 5/5 right paren.
Nice, 100% 5/5.
Coding blind tech at
So
K black
now I'm going to clear the screen with clear.
slash code dollar.
And I'm going to ls space -1. Press enter.
Django line example line rest line API. Python line files.
Nice. So you hear our Django REST API, our example API. So I'm going to cd space and then
NGO
into
line
that
example line
folder.
coding blind tech at K black.
Now I'm just going to open this with code space dot.
Visual Studio Code. Document. Application. Info colon. Progress. Yes, comma. I trust.
So yes, we'll
Welcome
trust
dash Django
yes.
line example line rest line 8.
All right.
Git license not selected to.
Nice. So now we see
Git itinerary not selected.
if I control shift E, I can look at my file explorer. We see
license. Git itinerary not selected.
our .git ignore.
License not selected 2 of 3 level 1.
License.
Readme.md not selected 3 of 3 level 1.
Okay. So now in this video, we have created a GitHub profile. That was check number 1. All right, number 2, we generated an SSH public and private key pair, and we copied that public key. Then step 3 was to paste that public key into GitHub by creating a new SSH key. So step 4 was then to create a new GitHub repo. And then step 5 was to actually clone that repo to our local machine. So I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, please leave comments or you can email me at codingblindtech@gmail.com. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here and enjoy the content and look forward to more, please subscribe. All right, thank you very much. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.
Coding blind coding dash ID line ed .ssh OBS 30.1. OBS